Listen, this morning I heard the crowd in Washington babbling on television again. The delusional fools inside the Beltway are trying to sell you a fairy tale that the U.S. and Israeli bombing campaign has weakened Iran, that we are winning. What is the truth? The truth is far more brutal. Nearly 2 weeks after that asinine display of firepower, Iran hit back by strangling the most vital waterway in the world, the Strait of Hormuz. Look at the map. Do not listen to the lies of the neocons. This strait is roughly 20 miles wide at its narrowest point and skirts the southern border of Iran. Geography is destiny. Geography determines victory, not the empty promises of politicians bought by donors. The uniparty elites think they can drop bombs and celebrate. Ridiculous. Iran is using its geographic advantage to sap the will of the United States to sustain this war in an asymmetric warfare effort. They are unleashing submarines, unmanned watercraft, swarms of small boats, and beginning to lay mines across the strait. Their new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, made it absolutely clear that the lever of closing the strait will continue to be used to threaten commercial shipping. It is a direct blow to the economic jugular of the West, a route where a fifth of the world's oil was passing. Do the children at the Pentagon understand this? No. Not at all. They are pushing America into an irreversible catastrophe. Just like the arrogance of Napoleon or the Wehrmacht marching into Russia, Washington thinks firepower can bend physical reality. It is finished. It is over. The game of global hegemony is over in those narrow waters. Let us talk about the mathematics of war and logistical materialism. Weapons do not fly themselves. Ships do not sail themselves. The U.S. Energy Secretary just admitted on television that the Navy is simply not ready to escort tankers through the strait right now. All of our military assets are busy targeting the remnants of the Iranian Navy and their military resource manufacturing capabilities. Pathetic. A great maritime power can no longer protect core shipping lanes. The Houthis in the Red Sea used drones and missiles to disrupt maritime commerce, which was just a costly prelude to this horrendous challenge. Now hundreds, if not thousands, of small boats from the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps are conducting mining operations. The U.S. Navy would face a weeks-long mine-clearing operation, a hugely expensive and dangerous effort, putting American sailors directly in harm's way. Can they solve this problem with air power? No, never. Just as General Eisenhower understood the limits of military power, air power cannot control the land or sea indefinitely. The shipping lanes are too narrow, and commercial vessels are too vulnerable to a mix of rockets, mobile missiles, and swarms of fast boats. The only military solution to reopen the strait requires large numbers of ground forces to seize the entire Iranian coast. Do we have the army to do that? No, our army is facing the worst recruiting crisis in history. Our 155mm artillery stockpiles are depleted in the Ukraine meat grinder. Forget it. Any effort now requires days of an air campaign to clear the way, and even then, shipping companies are not going to return. The stupidity of this strategy is tearing apart the globalist economy. Oil futures settled above $100 a barrel for the first time since 2022, up from $70 before this war started. The U.S. Energy Secretary did not even rule out the possibility of $200 oil. Who pays that price? The American people, citizens breaking their backs to pay taxes to feed the war machine. President Trump predicted oil prices would drop rapidly after ending the Iranian nuclear threat, calling it a very small price to pay for safety and peace. Wrong. That is a basic economic deception. While we burn money and lives in the Middle East, who benefits? Look to the East. China, Iran's most important customer, protected itself beforehand by increasing oil imports by 15.8% in January and February. Beijing's strategic stockpile holds roughly 1.2 billion barrels, enough for 115 days. The math is clear. Meanwhile, Iran is still loading oil and gas for export through the very strait they use to threaten others. Since March 1st, at least 10 tankers and gas carriers left Iran safely, all fully loaded. More than 80% of oil and gas exports through this strait go to Asia, threatening severe supply shocks for that region. They are playing go with strategic vision. The Washington elites are playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun. The truth is, these disastrous policies only serve the interests of the deep state and globalists, parasites who want to bleed the national treasury dry. Do not use the past to delude yourselves. The neocons love to bring up the tanker wars of 1988, when the Reagan administration offered protection to Kuwaiti tankers by registering them in the U.S. to justify naval escorts. They think history will repeat itself easily. Absolutely delusional. Look at the current weapon systems. Experts confirm you cannot extrapolate from that war to this war because Iran today is far more dangerous than during the Iran-Iraq crisis. They have ballistic missiles, suicide UAVs, integrated air defense networks, and superior ISR capabilities. Ship operators today are extremely cautious, and their risk norms have completely changed. No one is ready to throw their billion-dollar assets into a blazing war zone just for empty promises from the Pentagon. The geopolitical aftershocks will be a true catastrophe for America, destroying the strength of our alliance with Gulf Arab states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. The Gulf countries are watching our impotence. They realize America has massive military power, but lacks the strategic focus and reliability they wish for. What will they do? They will act based on core interests. Our Gulf allies will seek more permanent security arrangements, even rebuilding ties with Tehran to reduce their dependence on the United States. We are pushing our allies away with asinine and short-sighted foreign policy. What is the purpose? What is the method? What is the end state? No one in Washington can answer. The national interest of America lies in protecting its own people, not in endless military interventions abroad. Let us be frank. Short of a diplomatic solution, we are digging our own graves. It is finished. I repeat, it is over.